Hello everyone, Scrivener here. It's day 21 of Vlogmas. Also, my hair is green. I'm not quite sure how much I like it yet. So after an overwhelming response to do so, I have decided to talk about why I do not like The Legend of Korra. That was a joke. One person asked me why, and that was all I needed. I love Avatar: The Last Airbender. It is one of my favorite shows. That doesn't mean I don't have my problems with it. It was the first fandom I was really a part of in the sense that I engaged with the community. So when The Legend of Korra was announced, I was super pumped. I was very eager to learn more about the world, about the characters that we saw in the original series, and to see a female avatar. And I liked it for a few episodes, but I found it was very, very easy for me to just stop watching it. But when I heard that Korrasami had become canon 2 years ago, I decided to give it another shot. And still, again, it just didn't grab me the way I thought that a show with such violence and dark politics and stunning animation should have grabbed me. I know this might shock some people given what happens in season 3, but I swear I stopped watching halfway through. I could not have cared less about the Red Lotus and the Deus Ex Airbenders. And I know what happens. Korra gets in a really epic fight and she has horrible PTSD. But after that episode with Lin and Su-yin where we learn why they're estranged, I just completely lost interest in that season. And it was months later before I started watching season 4. And I still never have any desire to ever watch that show for pleasure ever again. I have several different issues with the show, and it all really comes down to gimmicky and bad writing. And before I really get into it, I do want to take the time to say that if this show is special and important to you, I am not trying to take that away from you. So I want to clarify that I am criticizing the show, not the positive impact and meaning it has for you and other people. Alright, let's start with the characters. Was Asami ever shown to not be suffering in this show? She loses her father, she loses Mako, she has to deal with keeping the company afloat without her dad, she has relationship drama with Mako, I don't even remember what she does in the 3rd season, and then she permanently loses her father after sort of kind of reconciling with him. Why? And when she's not suffering, she's just not there. Seriously, I cannot remember what Asami does in season 3. Does she have her own storyline? For someone touted as being part of the main group of characters, she shows up very infrequently. Several characters are written in very, very weird ways. Su-yin acts like Lin is being ridiculous for not immediately forgiving her, for permanently scarring her face, and ruining their mother's career. What? But Lin could have had some really great depth to him, but he's so often relegated to the idiot punching bag that he doesn't really get any depth until the last few episodes of the series. Not to mention that super gross propaganda plotline where he was like, I'm so stupid, I don't know my female co-star is acting. Is my confusion not just hilarious? I don't actually know if Mako has a personality. The villains are all so boring. They are only ever what the plot needs them to be at that moment. Korra is able to defeat them not because she's learned something or become stronger, but because the story now says so. But I think my biggest problem is how the characters from the original show are treated in this show. Katara is boring and apparently doesn't give a crap about the fact that the northern and southern water tribes might engage in a civil war. Yes, I am sure that she would never have an opinion about that, the calm and subdued woman that Katara is. Toph and Aang are the biggest ones. They are apparently not just not great parents, they are terrible parents. Don't get me wrong, Aang and Toph have their flaws in the original show, but the way that they act in The Legend of Korra is completely incongruent to their characters in the original show. Apparently, Aang was a terrible father because when he found out that his youngest son, Tenzin, was an airbender, completely ignores his children and his wife so that he could teach Tenzin how to be an airbender. What? He's not the pure baby that everybody pretends that he is in the fandom. However, much of his actions are motivated by love, and I just cannot believe that he would do that. I also have a hard time believing that Katara wouldn't call him out on his shitty behavior. Alright, now Toph. Toph is interesting. Toph is the chief of police, which I actually have no trouble believing. She loves justice, and she loves enforcing rules on other people, and she loves handing people's asses to them. I have no problem believing that she would love being the chief of police. The very basic backstory is that Toph has 2 kids. One of them, Su-yin, she commits a crime, and then her other daughter, Lin, who is a police officer, tries to arrest her. Instead of punishing the daughter that committed the crime, she's like, oh no, what will people think of me now that I have a daughter who committed a crime? So she burns up the police report and then sends her daughter away to live with her abusive parents. Okay, that sounds fake, but okay. Toph Beifong, who we never saw reconcile her relationship with her abusive ableist parents. Toph Beifong, who loved to break rules just to prove that she could do it and get away with it. That part is important. Toph Beifong, who never gave a crap about what anybody else thought of her. So the fact that in The Legend of Korra she apparently covers up her daughter's crime to preserve her own image, it does not sound like something she would do. I think that she would find the whole situation rather funny. I think that she would let Su-yin go to jail as punishment. It would be her way of saying, you weren't good enough not to get caught, so you deserve to face the consequences. That's what I think she'd do. I think they made Toph and Aang bad parents to make the show darker and grittier, to shock you, which I think is very cheap, first of all. Second, if these were just random characters we had never met before, it would be different. But they're not. In this case, you can't just throw in something wildly out of character for characters that you spent 3 years developing. That is not good writing. There is just so much stuff that occurs in The Legend of Korra that is confusing, forgettable, and boring. Rava and Vatu. Totally useless. Harmonic convergence is the laziest plot device and they didn't even try to make it sound reasonable. Amon's ability to remove a person's bending by blocking their chi went against everything Avatar: The Last Airbender established about chi. Katara should be able to fix it because we've seen her fix people's bending due to block chi because that's exactly what Ty Lee did! She did the exact same thing, just not as scary. So why isn't Katara able to fix it now? Because Aang has to show up and fix everything. Because cheap fan service, that's why. What does Jinora even do in the season 2 finale? What is this astral projection thing? Is it really explained? How does Zahir know so much about the air nomad culture? Was he an air acolyte? Is there a backstory to go ahead and explain some of that? No? Okay. How convenient for the plot that he acquired airbending skills. It sure is great that he's instantly a master of it. You know what signifies the end of a season? The passing of episodes. Not character arcs, not new skills, not growth. Just time. The conflicts are resolved when it's time to resolve them, and they are fixed so easily. Sure, Korra learns how to airbend, and she kinda defeats Amon. Kinda. Sure was great that she learned to unlock her airbending powers at that precise moment. And Kuvira is defeated because she just gives up. Then, that's it. She decides to stop fighting. And finally, Korrasami. They are adorable together, and I love every scrap of fan art that I find. But I think that there was very little work done for it. And I'm not saying that because I want to dispute the legitimacy of their relationship, that is, the idea that they would date each other, or because I think it was pandering. I do not. I think it's wonderful that we now have a first in bisexual representation for an animated show. Well, for children. I mean, Korra's not really for children, but that's really not the point. The only reason I watched season 4 was to watch their relationship progress. I went in actively looking for hints at a close friendship. I found nothing. Yes, there are some very compelling romantic moments, but not enough to make me believe that their friendship has progressed to the point of dating, and I know censorship played a role. But the thing is, this isn't actually a problem that is exclusive to Korrasami. Relationships are generally written pretty poorly on the show. Friendships, romance, familial bonds. There's no question that Team Avatar and The Last Airbender are friends. But Team Avatar and Legend of Korra? They act like friendly co-workers. There's more of them fighting together than there is bonding. I have my own theories about why the two shows are written so differently, but I do not know enough about it to speak confidently, so I'm not going to bring it up. Regardless, I still feel that The Legend of Korra, for the most part, is a badly written show. It's okay if you don't, and I'm not going to hate you if you love it. These are just my opinions, but it is something that has been on my mind for a while. Wow, that was a lot of fun. Thank you for watching. Like this video if you agreed with anything I said. Let me know in the comments below if you had your own issues either with The Legend of Korra or Avatar: The Last Airbender. And subscribe to The Princess and the Scrivener for more videos every day in December about Disney, intersectional feminism, pop culture critiques, and more. The Princess will see you tomorrow. Harmonic convergence is the laziest plot device. I swear to God.